What a beautiful day we have again today. The weather is cooperating nicely. This is a live picture from Pacifica, the Surfline camera. You can see Mount Tamalpais. You can see Mill Valley would be in here, Bolinas Ridge, and then down here is Stenson Beach and Bolinas itself, and way over here is Point Reyes. The thing I'm looking for now are these birds. See the birds flying around? Yesterday they were really going off. There's bait fish moving close to shore. That brings the whales in, and they've been showing up on this camera. See all the birds? So when you see them converge on something, typically that is, I'm not a whale expert, but I'm assuming the whales are feeding or the sea life are feeding, and that creates chum or the potential for these birds to get their hands on some anchovies. And you see a lot of birds right now, and in that, over where they are, they see something, and they'll often, I'm looking at it right now to see what they're doing, but you'll see them swarm, and when they swarm, typically that's where the whale is, and you'll see them. Before we get to whales, humpbacks in the Bay Area, we're going to get to the weather, which is going to be more like this the next few days. A mild weather pattern that continues right through the weekend, even cooler on the weekend. So 80s, mid-80s in the hot spots Saturday and Sunday. And I think the upshot to all this is, got whales moving around out there. We got bait fish moving around. And the fog is not really going to be a huge issue this weekend in Northern California. Santa Cruz, as you'll see, they got some really dense fog down there in Monterey Bay, and we could see it as well. But as that trough gets closer, I don't think we're going to have a problem with it. Okay, so this is yesterday. Bear with me here. I'll see if I can do this. This is Linda yesterday. Okay, this thing's on half speed, and right in here, keep your eye. You see the birds. You see them? They're real small. You'll see a whale kind of periscope. He comes straight up. This was yesterday at about 12:24, and you'll see it come up. It comes up pretty slow, and then I'll point to it when it comes. And it's not awesome. It's not an amazing breach, but any breach is awesome from a humpback whale. Do see a lot of grays. There it is. So they're in the area. So if you're looking at potentially nothing to do today, I'd run down to Pacifica. Look at the day. Look how it looks down there. I'd set up by the Taco Bell. I'd take a camera, or I would just take a good book and wait until people start pointing. Okay, so that is my suggestion for the day because the weather's so nice. And then this is San Francisco's Ocean Beach right now. And we can see that fog is way offshore if it's existing at all. The plan then will continue to be mild weather and uncharacteristic clear skies. San Francisco's Ocean Beach. Pleasure Point, a different story. This is down in Monterey Bay. This is the east side of town. And you can see surfers in the water. And the fog has cleared a little bit. It's virtually zero swell down there right now. And whale watching from Pacific. I saw some whales the other day when I was down at this exact spot, but they're way outside the kelp line. So not really that easy to spot. So we found fog. We know where it is. We know where it's not. So this is the visible satellite. So we saw Ocean Beach clear. We saw Pacifica kind of clear. There were some clouds, though, some fog up by Sharp Park. And then we saw Pleasure Point fogged in. But that's not going to last long. That fog is going to go. You can see it's having a tough time along the coast, staying intact. And that's because that low pressure, this low pressure right here, is hanging on. And when the low pressure hangs on, it blows up the inversion, makes it hard for the fog to form. And that's going to be the way it is all weekend. These are the forecast highs for today. And the numbers are, in my mind, perfect for this time of year. And plus, we're crushing the air quality right now. The air quality is really, really good for this time of year. Even if we didn't have fires earlier, the Park Fire and the Crozier Fire, even if we didn't have fires, you get these inversion caps that take car exhaust and factory particulate and smoke particulate and just kind of keep it down where we breathe. When the low comes in, it takes it and mixes it vertically, so you get this kind of air quality, which is desirable, most certainly. Here is the Redding Red Bluff forecast, which they love these temperatures. Not so hot. It's hot. But I bet if I went to Red Bluff and I went to the gas station and said, is it hot today? I go, are you kidding? No. Because right, they're used to 104, 103, 102. This behind there, that's an interesting shot of the Sutter Buttes, touted to be the smallest mountain range in the world. I did some deep diving into that. Not really the smallest mountain range in the world. It was a real estate sort of a ploy back when California was being settled. Remember, California was all about biggest fruit, biggest fish, biggest otters, healthiest water, right? They were selling. They sold California, especially when the Transcontinental Railroad came into play. And so they smallest mountain range in the world. I bought it. I was a geography major at Cal, and they even said, yeah, smallest mountain range in the world. But it turns out nobody measures the length or the size of a mountain range. So that was just some sales guy in 1895 or 1900 saying smallest mountain range in the world, kind of trying to give it some kind of an attachment to the place. So here is just a little bit of a nugget there. Here is the 5-day forecast. Looks pretty good, right? I think there's not a day there. So you like today, you're going to like right through the week. And I got to tell you, next week, we kind of go the same route. We're going to be in a pattern that continues to trough. I can show you that. Let's see if I can show you that. Okay, I'm going to show you that. I'm going to pop this picture out again. And if I back this up, this is the 500 millibar vorticity. And see that trough? We're to the right of the screen. See the far right? I'm not going to try to draw it, but that's California, right where that yellow area is, that little trough. Okay, so that's this weekend. No way is it going to warm up this weekend. Well, and then now that's next week. And that's the next week. And then it starts to, it's going to ridge out. And then look what happens. That's the next week. So we are in for, until like about the 27th of August, we are in for a very mild, manageable weather pattern. That doesn't mean that will happen for sure, but I think it will. I think the pattern is pretty, it's a long wave pattern, so the models do really well with that. It's not like a little short wave bleeping through. It's a mesoscale or macro scale, environment, and so that they do a pretty good job. That's what I'm trying to say, positioning that low. So that low is going to be around in some iteration. These are the air quality numbers. Unreal. I was saying to a friend earlier, these numbers in California, even if we didn't have fires going on in August, numbers are awesome because you're dealing with afternoon, morning commutes, right? And when you have, typically in August, we have that shallow inversion. So you have the afternoon, morning commutes, and you've got all that junk gets caught up in there. You've got factory pollutants. You've got smoke pollutants. And with this low around, the air column stretches out. The air gets mixed vertically, and it's not so concentrated, and the air we breathe is much better. And you can see that as evidenced by Pacifica. I would leave this up all day and watch it, but I got things to do. Hope you're having a good day. I'm sure you are. I'll see you back here tomorrow.